Another week down, another week to begin. The fun of it all. It must be down with boring, or as some people have come to know it, that show that you guys do, which is quite nice, I suppose. People are relating to it. Jamie here. Jake is not here. He's decided to take a holiday. I don't know if that's because of me or if it's because of some other interference that was going on in life. He's not here. He just turned to me and said, "No, I'm away." He's had to take some time away to rediscover his mojo. But don't fear, because instead we've got the very lovely Ali Shuttler, who is with us this week. Ali, welcome to the show. Obviously, you've been here before. You know the place.
A couple of times. I do.
You know the place.
Got my foot in the door early, and I've been waiting for Jake to slip up because he's made an enemy of seagulls. He has famously. So and I might not have his professionalism, his charm, his humour, but I bring I think like a DIY punk energy to the podcast. That's
exactly what's been lacking, if you will. People have been like, "This is all great, but where on earth is the DIY work ethic here? Where is the swagger?
Where's the scrappy charm? It's right here."
Yeah, exactly. Jake is too professional, if anything.
He makes you look bad.
Oh, is that? I mean, I've heard from a few people he does, to be fair, and I just accept that. But then also, I think I brought him down on a few occasions as well into the depths of my world. So I think all in all, if we balance it out, we're probably equal playing field. But now, obviously, he's slipped up. So this may be the moment.
We say holiday, but he's on a timeout. He's in the naughty corner. Yeah. Thinking about what he's done.
He's had to go away. But yes, we are back. Another week for Down with Boring. Again, your weekly look at everything going on in music and general nonsense. More of the general nonsense recently, but general nonetheless. We got a big show this week. There's a lot of stuff out. A lot of new tracks out. A lot of news. Lots of news. Including some big stuff with Reading and Leeds, which hot off the press.
So hot off the press. The ink is still moist.
Exactly. I've picked up a newspaper and it's all over my hands, except it's lineups. Well, just one. Who knows?
Got a lineup on you.
Got a lineup on me. It's all over. We're also going to be joined by Fee from Bloxx later on. Lovely stuff. A nice show we've got planned ahead. So stick around. Get used to the place.
Please stick around.
Get used to the place. Yeah, please stick around. If you've turned off already, I understand. If this is the Jake Stan accounts, I understand completely. And I get it. I get it. We try to keep audience, numbers high.
We live for that social engagement.
We really do. Famously, we do. It's all about the clicks and the shares. And they all pay for, my dinner, which tonight is, again, tin meatballs and pasta. Can't wait to tuck in. It's a real delight. Also, can I flag that Ali is actually a chef. So he is one with food. So if you are disapproving of this, just think of what he's thinking. Doesn't go down well.
It's more just disbelief that you somehow... You go to a supermarket and there's all this choice, a world of choice, and a world of possibility.
Yeah.
And you go, half meatballs and pasta again.
It's done me well so far. I'm still alive and kicking. And that's how I base my life. As long as I'm alive.
Hasn't killed me yet. So let's give it a whirl.
Let's just, first of all, before we get to the Dork mailbag, just sitting on top of the Dork mailbag, which, see, Jake always loses the mailbag, but I find it's just here. It's just sitting on the side.
I don't know how you can miss it. It's huge.
It's giant.
How do you lose that?
I don't know. It's very easy to lose big things, if you've got big hands, which Jake obviously does. For those who haven't seen Jake, big hands. He's left a message though on top of the Dork mailbag, and
it's just a postcard, not a scrawl.
Yeah. I was about to say there's a nice little picture of some mountains by the looks of it. There's like a nice little, I don't know, like a little Italian family that are like saying hello. There's like an animal on it. I don't even know what the animal is. It's got fur. I'm not going to question it. But he's dropped us a little postcard. He just, I guess this is his apology. He said, he just said, "My dearest Jamie," that's very nice. "I
Rude.
send sincere apologies for my absence from this week's show. I recently fostered a small family of voles, which have been a great source of joy to me in these troubled times, as well you know. I am aware of this. The voles are called Barry, Larry, Harry, Carrie, and Trevor. Unfortunately, the patriarch of the clan has recently fallen ill with vole plague, and as such my home life has been thrown into disarray. Working overtime to pay vet's bills, hand-feeding a hearty broth to the ailing vole, and the mental anguish that has resulted all mean that I'm in no fit state to present the radio this week. I've sent Ali in my stead. Hello, there he is. And hope that he provides something of a sticking plaster over the wound my absence will leave. Your dearest friend, Jake. P.S. Justice for Ringo Starr." I don't know how to take that. We were ripping him apart earlier, and I didn't realise that he had left the postcard. He's looking after voles.
Noble work, has to be said.
Noble work.
After voles.
Yeah, I mean, voles.
An overlooked creature in the burrowing world.
Yeah. I was having a discussion the other day,
as I'm sure many people have been this week with the vole resurgence of late.
but animals. We've got a lot of them, haven't we? We've got a lot of different animals around, right? There's so many species.
At least 34, I think.
Yeah. Do we need voles? Is all I'm saying. Are voles vital?
Well, I'm sure on some level in the grand ecosystem, probably. But really, isn't a vole just a shit mole?
Or like a small. Isn't it? It's could be a mix between a mouse and a rat, and they seem to do fine. But I don't. Yeah, what do they do? What are they doing? What have they contributed to society?
There's never been a famous vole.
No, you're completely correct. You're completely correct. Where's the famous voles at? That's all I'm saying.
No one's looked at a vole and gone, "I'm going to make that the hero of this story."
No,
or the villain, but
or the villain. Yeah. It's not even villainous enough.
Equal opportunities for voles.
Jake has warmed to them, and at least he sent a nice little postcard. I'll cherish it. I'll put it up on the wall and stare at a picture of him until he returns.
I'm excited for weekly vole updates.
Oh yeah, I'll find the full scoop out next week. Jesus Christ, I can imagine.
Vole watch,
vole watch, if you will.
I mean, I hope it's good news, because otherwise that's gonna really bring a downer on the podcast. If it's hi, all the voles are dead. Also, turns out humans can catch vole plague. Because, let's be frank, the last thing we need right now is another pandemic.
We don't need another.
Don't need another one. And if there is another one, Jake's disease. Patient zero. I'd have kept that quiet. I'd have been like, they've got one's broken a leg. Definitely not a plague.
Yeah, he's given out too much information. But fear not, listeners. We'll get an update from Jake next week. But that's quite nice. But yes, in the actual mailbag itself, let's just disregard the state of the voles. We've got some messages. So the first one's from Sam from Bristol, who has asked, at what point is it okay to be hearing Christmas songs? My work has told me that we're going to start playing Christmas songs next week, which I'm not sure about. It's too early, isn't it? I reckon.
What's he not sure about there? Is he unsure that the work are telling him the truth?
What an elaborate lie! What an elaborate lie! What a really pointless lie!
Is this some sort of
we're going to
banter?
start playing Christmas songs. Yeah, we're going to play Christmas songs next week, and then he gets it. It's we're not. And it's okay.
He comes in, little hat on, tinsel around the shoulder.
Cheers, mate. Appreciated. I think he's unsure about hearing the Christmas songs.
Before we get into that debate, can we?
Yeah.
Is he working from home? Is it his girlfriend being it's time for Christmas? Because I don't want to get in the middle of a domestic here.
Yes, it'd be like his mum and dad, isn't it? Just putting it on the. Just being like, you know what we really want to hear now? Merry Christmas, everyone. Let's have a little bit of that.
Do you know what cheers Sam up? He looks a little bit down. Let's put Wham on.
Let's put Do They Know It's Christmas Time on. It's clearly the most appropriate time for it.
But I think seriously, yes,
Yeah.
it is too soon to be playing Christmas songs.
I think that's very fair. Like, it's. Did you see that there's? I think it's like Magic. They're launching their like own radio station just full of Christmas songs, but they're launching it like next week as well. So clearly, this is a joint thing.
I'm assuming Sam's an avid Magic listener, and that's what they put on
it could
in
be.
the office
It
at
could
work.
be that that's what they're putting on. It could be that's what's being put on.
So last Christmas, when I gave you my heart, I was
the
at
very
work.
next day.
and the first person into work always put Magic on. And it was December, so they do non-stop Christmas songs all day.
Anyway. So why would they need their own station of Christmas songs, you know? Once it gets to December, unless they're like, there's demand maybe in September to hear. Do you know what their reasoning was as well? It's like, we all need something to cheer us up. And Christmas is a jolly time. You know,
I think one day, I think one day of Christmas songs in September, you'd be like, oh, that's a nice little treat. But every day from now until Christmas. That's psychotic.
Is Christmas like Easter eggs? Like, you know, I could eat Easter eggs all year, but they're obviously quite seasonal because that's when obviously the birds lay the Christmas eggs. The Christmas egg, the Easter egg, famously. They lay them then.
But I think what's important about that is you're not just eating Easter eggs. No one's going, no, that's all. This is all you've got for 3 months. Whereas an Easter egg's like you have your meatballs and your pasta, and then as a treat, have a little Easter egg. But this is the musical equivalent of non-stop eggs. And it's outrageous.
Non-stop eggs, not for me.
Quit.
So I think our collective. Okay, Sam from Bristol. I mean, if you want to quit. We don't have a job for you, so don't come to us. But obviously, if you feel like you can't put up with Christmas songs and it's really bringing you down, you've got no choice because it's going to be like this for the next 3-4 months. So we say no.
As an inspirational note, work really hard in the next few days, become the boss of your work, and then you've got the power to simply change the station.
You do. Work, as Rihanna once said. Keep working. Moving on, we've got another one in the mailbag. Keep on working. Sophia from Birmingham has asked. Also, weirdly, obviously, we were talking about voles a lot. This is also animal related. Do you think animals have their own music? Like, they create their own bangers that only other animals can understand? So I guess we're saying is you can't, for example, I can't understand what a turtle is saying. But maybe the turtle, maybe turtles have their own scene. Do you know what I mean? Like their own music scene. You know.
Well, I mean, it's a shame Jake isn't here as the animal expert, but he's been called to another animal emergency.
Yeah,
I mean, instantly, I think whales sing famously.
Yeah, they do have that. Yep. But humans like whales sing. But
yeah.
Do
they actually go the whole? Do they have little bands, little jam sessions?
Yeah. Like, for example, is there do turtles sing to each other? I don't know. I've never heard them, but then I wouldn't know what they're singing about, Maybe they have their own scene.
It'd be tough to comprehend. If they made music, would we understand it?
Yeah. And if they go to their own festival, maybe they go to Shellfest. Am I right? Hey?
What's that meant to be instead of Hellfest?
Hey, he knows. He knows.
Is that what you've shown?
He knows.
Well, I mean, dogs would go to Reading and Leeds.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, we're struggling now, aren't we?
There's got to be something with Glastonbury.
Glastonbury?
What the fuck? No. I think you're atrocious.
No.
No.
All I'm saying is animals have their own music, and we're yet to hear it. Maybe that's the next scene.
Oh, so you firmly believe that animals do have their own music, and that on a Friday night, there's 200 bats all hanging out.
Yeah. Literally giving it. It's like that video of the bats. You see that recently where they were like, it's like, oh, upside down bats look like goths in a nightclub. You see that? Where it's like, they're all like walking around, they're giving it 10-0, you know? Bat here, bat there.
I haven't seen that, but it sounds...
There we go.
It sounds like scientific proof that animals make their own music and their own very complex musical scenes.
Exactly. So all we're saying is maybe that's the thing we need to discover. You know, one day.
We can live in
the answer
hope.
to that question, Sophia. Sophia is yes. Animals do have their own music.
Absolutely.
We can't understand it, but one day maybe they will. One day, maybe they will. Thanks for the 2 messages to the mailbag. Again, we have room. We're lonely. We sit inside all day, listening to the tears of a vole. And if there's any way that you can help us in that situation by asking us questions, we're here. We've already encouraged one person to potentially quit their job, and the other person to maybe go outside and put their ear to the ground and hear if a spider can rap. It's two options. Clearly, we're there for you. Should we get on to some news, Ali?
I'm hungry for news.
As we guide through the show, let's get to some news. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Let's start with a bit of just, pure little bit of music news. The XX, heard of them?
Yeah. All right.
Great. They're great. There's a little bit of news here that basically it's come out that all of the XX are currently working on some solo projects, which is interesting. So one of their the head of their label that they're signed to, Young Turks, has revealed that they're basically all 3 of them are working on their own solo projects at the moment. So don't expect any songs from the XX anytime soon because they've all buggered off to do their own thing. Which fair enough, do what you've got to do.
Is that like a self-isolation thing? Have they fallen out?
I mean, potentially.
If they see what Jamie's been up to and gone, that looks much more fun than hanging around with these 2 dickheads. I want a piece.
Yeah. I want a piece of the pie, if you will.
I want a piece of that solo pie.
Obviously, because Jamie XX has put out obviously a solo album that did very, very well. It was a great album, great little album. Romy, she was due to play like a range of festivals this year, so she was doing like a bunch of shows. I think Glastonbury as well. So I think there was probably something being hinted there.
So she split off anyway. She jumped off the sinking ship.
Yeah. Oliver, we'll see. Let's see what he's cooking up. That basically means don't expect any new music from the XX anytime soon because they're doing their own thing. They're gone.
So expect lots of music from the members of the XX, but not under the umbrella of the XX.
Yes, basically. So you can get little hints and flavours, but they're doing their own thing, and I rate it. You are right though; it could just be they're all in self-isolation is the easiest thing, and they don't want to see each other.
And the boss has just gone, they're just lying. They've been like, yeah, we're all working on solo stuff. Wanker.
And they're like, yeah. Well, they're all sat at home just like watching telly. Just like, we'll get around to it at some point. We'll get there, don't worry.
Just watching Can't Pay would take it away and just going like, looking for inspiration. This is fun. Have you ever heard of bailiffs? Wankers. All of them.
You could say that they're trying to keep away from loud places, if you will. Such as the Jamie XX
enjoyed that
song.
one, didn't you?
I really did. Such as the Jamie XX song. So yeah, imagine like more solo stuff coming from them. That's going to be great. This is loud places. Just think of it. I once saw Jamie XX at a pub in East London once. didn't, like, it's weird, isn't it, when it's like, I don't know what his surname is. Everyone, it's just XX, isn't it? So, he had to, like...
That's the same with most musicians, because, Alex from Sports Team. Just his name.
Famously, his name.
Alex.
Like
Alex from Sports Team.
Cher has a surname. Madonna, sure, has a surname at some point. Unless they've removed it. Who knows?
They've locked it off.
Yeah, they just got rid of it. I just remember seeing him at a pub, and he had to sign for something. Very old school. And
what was he? Was he delivering something?
I felt like it. Yeah, he was in his
Hermes
outfit.
Are you sure it was Jamie XX and not a guy in a lorry that just happened to look a bit like him?
We'll never know. I never asked. So it was either a sighting or it was just a sighting of a delivery to a pub. We'll never know. But clearly, either way, he's busy. He's busy.
Hang on, your story there, your little anecdote, your Jamie XX related story that you thought people would want to hear was that you saw Jamie XX maybe in a pub. And that's it.
What can I say? I'm connected in the music industry. Really at the precipice of culture.
Aspirational stuff.
Yeah. If you want to be like me, you got to walk like me, talk like me. I don't know the rest of the words.
I don't know.
Oh, heavens above. More news for you. This week, obviously, we've every week we do this, and we can't be bothered to try and sort a solution of it, so we just end up talking about a load of different albums that are out, because at the moment we've got a nice influx of albums, a real nice flow of them coming in steady. As mentioned, Fee from Bloxx will be on the show later talking about Lie Out Loud, which is out now, but another album that's out this week that is an absolute banger, if you will, is the Magic Gang's second album, which is out now, called Death of the Party. It's an album which I was listening to earlier today. Amazing stuff. It's kind of like, they came out obviously with a big kind of like whirlwind of kind of like, I guess, hype, if you will, but also an amazing live band on that debut album. And this album is kind of like, I don't know, slightly darker, they get to kind of show off a bit more of their like kind of musical stylings. Like, it's really just an amazingly well-written indie pop record, really. Have you listened to it, Ali? What's your thoughts on the Magic Gang's second album?
I think what the Magic Gang do really well is it's like proper summer music. You've got bands like Vaccines and that who do festival anthems, which is very different to like a summertime anthem, because you're not going to stick Vaccines on when you're having a couple of tinnies in the park. Whereas the Magic Gang, perfect for just getting drunk at the beach or like a late night drive with the windows down.
Obviously, don't drink and drive. Famously,
no, they are too.
Someone else can drive. Someone else can drive whilst you drink.
That's an either-or scenario. If you do want to listen to the Magic Gang album and you've gone, what's the best way to do it? Oh, that guy on that podcast was like, have a couple of beers, then go for a drive. Don't drink and drive.
Don't do that. It's not good. It's not clever. It's not smart. That's all we're saying. But if you
want
mix
to do either of those options,
yes,
you can't go wrong. It's a good, nice day out.
Yeah, if you want to drive, great for that. If you want to drink, it's great for that as well. Result. Put that on the poster. Slap it on. We're here all week for quotes. An amazing album, and it feels like it's just really nice. There's like that Northern Soul kind of influence that a lot of people have been talking about. But they're back, and it's just a really, really lovely, lovely album. And obviously, if we had more time, we would talk about it.
I like what they're doing with the phone-in live stream thing. Seems like fun.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They've got
I think Jamie was about to mention that.
Yeah, 100%. It's like we plan it. It's Death of the live stream, which is going to take place. Yeah, like next week, 2nd of September. It's going to have a live performance from the Magic Gang. There'll be special guests on it. There is all sorts of special guests on it. Like, Jesus Christ. I think we're looking at
he's not on it. They haven't got him. No. They haven't got him back to. They haven't somehow got Jesus flogging the new Magic Gang album.
Yeah, no, he's a little bit busy.
Although I imagine he'd be a fan.
Yeah, I actually think he would. To be fair, I don't know the guy particularly well. Jesus, but I think he's.
I've heard his stylings though. I think he'd be alright. I think he'd be a fan.
Do you think he'd be a fan of I don't know, Fink that's the sort of song that would be perfect for him, because it's all about thinking, isn't it? You know, and it's all about doing bits.
And he did a lot of bits. But anyway, the live stream,
he did. He did. he did a lot of bits. That's the summary of Jesus.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Look, allegedly.
If you believe books.
Yeah. Fucking hell. We're what? Just sorry. We're just straight up. Oh, religion. Let's doubt it. Why not?
I said all books. I generalised. If you believe any book, then that's you.
Yeah, and that's fine as well.
You want to believe in books? You can.
Yeah, the event's got a load of people on it. Basically, there's it's a bit like there's members of just get rid of that. Just get away from the Jesus fucking bastard for 5 seconds. Christ help us. well, maybe you can, maybe you can't.
Who knows? It might be made up.
Oh God! Anyway, the live stream. Yeah, it's got members of Swim Deep, Spectre, the Vaccine Sports Team, and Felix from the Magic Age is going to be there. Alan Power, a bunch of people. There's karaoke session. It's going to be great. Don't go on and sing any Christian songs because apparently they're not close enough. This album's really good. I'm just gonna get straight to it. This is a highlight. It's just a minute. Oh God. Falling apart already.
Come back, Jake. All is forgiven.
Oh God! Like I thought. Heavens above. More news. Let's skip over Jesus. You see this week, Ali, all the indie landfill talk on the social medias. It was all going on, wasn't it?
There was a lot of discourse. I think
there's a lot of discourse. Basically, everyone was diving back into memories of a time between, let's just say, 2004 to 2000, and I think they went up to 2012.
Yeah,
where indie and where indie was kind of riding the charts, wasn't it? It was tracks were coming out here, there, and everywhere. Bands were everywhere. A really wonderful time, basically. And obviously, the term landfill indie has kind of become a thing. Which I don't even know where it came from, where it was like there was so much of it that it was like, God, there's actually too much of it. It was the idea.
I think it was first coined in 2008 by a bloke. I did read the article, and I was going to memorise that bit, but I didn't. So I just memorised. So at one point, a bloke said it, and people went, catchy.
There you go, and that's it. So yeah, they dove into it, and it was actually it was a nice trip down memory lane, really. A lot of bands, a lot of people, bands from here, there, everywhere. Bands, who've long since given up, and bands that are still here, which is really nice.
And should have probably given up.
Fucking here we go. We're not naming any names on here.
Not all of them. There's some brilliant bands from that era still knocking around, but there's some of them you go, I'm not sure anyone needs a 15th anniversary tour of that.
We had it's just good to go back and think, people like Jolene and the Jing Jang Jong, the band that never released an album. We had, who else was on there? The Holloways, Mumra, classics. It was just a really nice delve into it.
I think classics might be an overstatement. Right, the thing I think, because this happens every time someone goes, oh, remember Indie Landfill? And everyone gets furious about it. But I think it's because around that time is when digital download sort of properly kicked in. So people had every song.
Yeah,
and also
it was there, yeah.
And so when sort of Spotify kicked in, they went, oh, let's put it straight on there. Whereas I imagine all the scenes before that, you get a shit CD single from some crap Britpop band, you're just going to lose it. You're not going to keep that.
You're just going to lose it. You are right.
I think every generation's had its sort of indie landfill moment. They've just been clever enough to keep it off the internet. But our generation, whack it on there, mate.
I basically think that the term indie landfill, whilst you know right away what sort of acts and bands they're referring to, I just don't think it's the right term, is it? Because it is a moment in time where people were having great fun across the country, across the world. This amazing music that people were really into, and it's the soundtrack of people's lives, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's you can say something shit, but people have enjoyed it. People having fun with it.
You can enjoy a time in a landfill.
Mm.
Like
I
digging
famously
around.
have done that multiple times. I think you'll
Everyone
find.
Scrappy Challenge, brilliant.
Yeah,
they were all having a great time.
It's called a Sunday for me. I come away with bargains. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm pro indie landfill as a term. I think a lot of the bands didn't make it out of the scene. A lot of the bands sort of had a couple of songs, then no one cared.
Mm.
So I think for the most part, a lot of it was shit. But the survivors have got even more to be proud of because they crawled themselves out of the mire.
Exactly, and this is it. This is it. If you have an issue with the term indie landfill, at the end of the day, who cares? You're having fun. You've got the bands you love, and it's a really great time. And going back and listening to all those bands from that moment in time was a very, very good day. I'll be frank with you.
Do you have a nice afternoon, Jamie?
Yeah, I had my trilbies on. I had
multiple trilbies.
Multiple trilbies, yeah. Well, it's
flash git.
Because I thought the sun was flash git. I thought the sun would when I was younger. I thought the sun would get through the first hat, for example.
Okay.
So when I would wear hats, for example, it would. I'd wear two just in case.
Oh, so you wear two factor 30 hats rather than just putting one big factor 50 hat.
Yeah.
Smart.
Those who haven't met me, I have got a pale complexion, so I have to whack on a bit of cream.
Pale. Almost translucent sometimes.
I know a mate who actually had to get some specific prescription sun cream because his skin was that pale. And he'd whack it out. And it was literally like he was pulling out a big block of butter and just fucking whacked it on the side and just scraped it along. Just it's like scraping a crumpet it was on his face. He was a young kid as well. He had acne. Come on.
Bet he was fun at parties.
Oh, great fun. Yeah. Someone get the butter out. Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, joyous time. It was really great seeing that all. Even if you're kicking off, it's good fun in it. And there's bangers, such as this. This is Jack Pignate, Second Minute or Hour. I can't wait for another second minute or hour. I can't wait. It's all your choices in your power. I can't wait for another second minute or hour. I can't wait. It's all your choices in your power. I lost my head when I found my heart. But now in neither, I've fallen all apart. With this voice and chord, I'll tell you from the start. She never wanted me. She never wanted me. Talking about a countdown.
It's no Just Jack, is it?
It's no Just Jack.
It's no Just Jack. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, let's leave the indie landfill where it belongs in 2009.
And let's go to 2021. Because hot off the press, as we mentioned. Burning, if you will. Burning.
I mean, it's cooled down a little bit. We've smudged some of the text, but...
Yeah, I spilled some water on it, so that didn't go well. But we've got some news. It's so Reading and Leeds, of course, as with every festival this year, unfortunately had to cancel 2020. Over the past weekend, it would have been Reading and Leeds, the bank holiday, which is all very, very nice.
In another lifetime, we'd be really hungover right now.
Yeah, we'd be in a lot of pain. But we're not.
I'm sure many of you would be too. But we're all well hydrated. No one's sunburnt. No one's done anything they regret. So every cloud.
And instead, the only pain being inflicted, unfortunately, is you listening to this show. So I deeply apologise. But yeah, it was meant to happen.
Let's wait for them to hear. Let's wait for them to hear the lineup before they start thinking they've got too lightly.
Yes. So yeah, hot off the press. So Reading and Leeds, obviously, it didn't happen over the past weekend. Real shame. We always have a good time there, don't we? All adult. Everyone in adult, we all head down, have a good time. And they've announced next year's already, because they're like, you know what, let's not fuck around, let's not wait around, let's look ahead to next year. So they've announced...
We'd like some money now.
Yeah, give it now!
Please, please give us some pennies. We're starving.
We're starving, mister.
Boris Johnson won't feed us.
Mister, can you please spare some change?
Please, just a little bit.
God. 2021. Reading and Leeds. They've announced they've announced 6 headliners. So here's the big news is that there's going to be 6 headliners. So there's going to be 2 main stages, basically. 2 main stages at the festival next year. They're not messing around. 2 main stages. And they've announced the 6 headliners that will be obviously spread across each of them. So returning from this year, you've got...
Let's get some sirens going. Let's get some excitement.
Producer Patrick, do you have glass smashing Charlie Sloth? Like if I just went like pow, pow,
or like
siren,
like a klaxon,
like that, or
even a drum roll. We'd set off for a drum roll.
A whale, yeah. Even a comedy Harry Hill thing. I don't know. One of them, Benny Hill. One of them. They're all climbing up hills. There we go. Let's talk about the lineup. So we're looking at returning from who were meant to play in 2020. Stormzy, Liam Gallagher. They're back. They're going to be there, as well as headlines Post Malone, Catfish and the Ballmen, Disclosure, and Queens of the Stone Age. Those are the headlines, and then throughout more names being announced. We've got like AJ Tracy, friend of the magazine, Lewis Capaldi. There he is. Oi oi. Bieber Doobie, Two Door Cinema Club, 100 Gex are there. Get ready for the remixes. Doja Cat, The Baby, Fever, Bree, Ashniko, Mabel, and more. So they've announced that's for next year. Ali, your thoughts on number one? We talked about missing out on Reading and Leeds last weekend. Next year, been announced already. What do you think? Because it's interesting to see festivals announcing stuff for next year so early, and I guess you're kind of seeing like who's going to be about next year, really, as well. What's your thoughts?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, Melvin Ben was given it the big. This is going to be great on Friday about how how inclusive and diverse this lineup would be. But I mean, still all blokes headlining that festival, which is really shit. You got 6 headliners, and you didn't go. Got a problem here, haven't we, lads?
Is that the noise? That's
the noise. That's the noise someone should make when someone goes, "Here's the lineup," and they go, "But it's all blokes." Do you not think it'd be more exciting or better if it wasn't all blokes? But they've obviously gone, nah. It's what we've done every year before. Let's just keep giving them blokes. Blokes sell tickets. Apparently,
out of the headlines, which ones would you say you're excited to see for next year? The ones that you want to see that show. I mean, like the Stormzy show, for example, at Glastonbury was very good. I'm sure that would be an amazing one. Yeah, that'd be a great moment, wouldn't it?
Looking at it though, it looks like they've kind of gone, we need to tick some boxes. So let's get a rock band, Queens of the Stone Age. Get an indie band, Catfish the Bottom. Let's get some dance music, Disclosure. Let's get someone who was good about 20 years ago, Liam Gallagher. Let's get someone excited, Stormzy. And then, I don't know, Post Malone's big on the internet, isn't he? Get him on down.
Whack the sound effects around this, please, Patrick. Just whack the, like... He's not holding back. Oh, God.
But I think the other names announced, there's some really exciting ones there. Like Ashniko, Bieber Doobie, Fever 333, all really exciting acts who are doing really interesting and I dare say important things in their particular genres. So
yeah, it's interesting to see that mix, isn't it? Like that mix of, like you say, you've got like Ashniko, Fever 333. You got huge names like Capaldi, and
how's he not headlining and Catfish bottoming up? Like who's gone? Oh, they won't. No one will stand for a Lewis Capaldi headline slap, but
maybe
Catfish
he's
the
got
bottom will come a pun.
maybe he's got to shoot off somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe he's got to shoot off. Like, he's got stuff to do. Maybe he's like, I can fit you in between these hours. He's a busy guy. He's not messing around.
I'd love to headline, but
100 gex would be wild.
Got to go to bed at 9:30. I mean, if
100 gex would be that'd be ridiculous. I think they've done live shows before.
I know they were meant to,
but like a festival,
Yeah, I'm sure that'd be fun.
Bunch of stuff going on, and also the two main stages. That's big stuff. Obviously, the big thing is like, how's it going to work? Festivals next year, like, is it going to work?
Way back when had two main stages, didn't they? And they just sort of alternated them.
Yeah. I guess it would be
nice because then you get twice as many blokes for your money, apparently. Buy one bloke, get one bloke free. Who needs that many blokes, really?
As you can tell, Ali is game for Reading Leeds next year. They've announced now, looking ahead to next year, 2021, 6 headliners, a bunch more stuff, and there will be loads more.
Blokes, probably.
Loads more to come. Let's look, in timing of this, Disclosure have got an album out this week, so makes sense,
Lovely.
Ali's gonna really enjoy this.
Play it, go on, and I'll dial down my rage.
This is Lavender.
No turning back now. Channel on you, I'm on it. I like the lace on you. I like the lace. She about it. Soft lips, soft skin, smooth hips. Want everything, and you got it.
Joyous Disclosure. They will be headlining Reading Leeds.
It soothed me somewhat. I'll try and...
Does it soothe you?
Soothed me a little bit. Do you know what else would soothe me?
What's that?
Some tracks.
Hey, look at this! Look at this! He's in now. He knows where we're going. JQ! Look at him! The host rolling. Bunch of amazing new tracks out this week, as always. It feels like at the moment, weirdly enough, like because of like lockdown and everything that's going on, and people not being able to gig and stuff, a lot of people have just kind of focused on just creating tracks and putting them out as much as possible, which I know they were already kind of doing.
You have just described music there. Well,
I've just described the music industry there, ladies and gentlemen. But they've been going more that way. And I guess a good example is this. Yeah, this first track I like this week is it's a team up between two adult faves, if you will. It's Circa Waves and Alfie Templeman. Look at that, teaming up,
Lovely.
Having a bit of fun. It's called Lemonade. This song was like, I listened to it and I was like, it feels like quite melancholy, quite sad when you first listen to it, and then you listen a little bit deeper. It's a bit of an uplifting song. It's an uplifting
one.
Having
a bad day.
I mean, it could be that I was having a bad day, to be honest.
Is everything all right, Jamie?
Yeah. I mean, I should have known that I was having a bad day when I was just staring at a puddle of water outside as I listened to it. Maybe that was the real downer, if you will. Was looking down. But these guys helped. Circa Waves. I think it's really interesting with Circa Waves is that you've been hearing them kind of like, they were, when they first started, they were like straight up and up, indie band, and they've kind of melded into like that kind of like more like pop songwriting a little bit more. And this is a song teaming up with Alfie, who knows how to write a hook and a half. And they've made this, it's really, really nice song. It feels like it might be like a standalone thing, but it's like, well, this is nice. End of summer vibes, if you will. So let's have a little listen. This is Lemonade by Circa Waves and Alfie Templeman.
We be doing something great by now. By now. And we're all drinking lemonade. We thought we'd be doing something great by now. By now.
blissful.
Yeah,
Blissful.
it kind of, the title sort of tells you what it is. It feels like a glass of lemonade. A little bit fizzy,
does feel like
a little bit refreshing, not too dangerous.
Oh, gorgeous. Down the throat.
Go for a drive after a nice pint of lemonade.
You certainly can. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Lemonade, so goes Abby Templeman. Ali, I believe you may have a cheeky track over there. What have you got?
I've got a track in with me. I don't know if that's allowed. But
thank God.
Otherwise this would be a bit short.
Be a bit.
And if anything, there should be more of this. Anyway.
What have we got?
Girl in Red, her latest track. Their latest track.
Lovely.
It's the first track from kind of their yet to be announced debut album, which I'm sure lots of people are excited for, because they've been doing
definitely
big things recently. Like they sort of caught onto the tail end of kind of the bedroom pop movement, but have kind of been doing more, I guess, guitar bass stuff since then.
100%.
Hit at all the festivals. Just kind of a band that kind of, when you talk about them, people are like, oh yeah, they're great, they're going to be massive. And this track is kind of a first proper foot forward into that. Yeah, we're going to be huge. Like, it's a little bit bedroom pop, a little bit folk, a little bit brooding emo banger, and it does my favourite thing in music, which is the singing just goes to a whisper and sort of fades out a little bit, and then like hits back in with a bit more music.
That's your favourite thing in music?
My favourite thing in any song ever is when the person like just singing, whisper, whisper, whisper. Some music. Love it.
Amazing. Well, note to all bands. If you want to get Ali's seal of approval, just do that, and you're away.
The fake fade out.
The fake fade out.
Anyway, should we play? Should we play Rue?
Yeah.
Listen out for the whispery
let's
bit.
Do it.
The long nights you held me through. Believe me when I say I could never be saved. Yeah, I tried to get it off my mind, to leave it all behind. Don't wanna make it worse, I'm gonna make it work. Yeah, I tried to get it off my mind, to leave it all behind. Don't wanna make it.
Oh, yeah, the whispery bit is good. The whispery is good, to be fair. It is good. Yeah, I can't fault it.
Adds a little bit of drama, a little bit of danger.
A little bit of drama. You think you're done, so you drop your guard, and then next thing you know, in your face.
A fade out, ugh. But no. Reverse
Amazing.
that, ugh.
Take that and turn it into a if you will.
Little cheeky bit more music.
Ah, that's nice. You need a treat, don't you, now and again? It's been a
Thanks,
tough
Girl
year.
in Red. We deserve that.
Cheers. Keep doing that. That'll be great. I've got another track for us here.
Does it go whispery then loud?
Depends if you turn up the volume yourself. Then it does. Yes, it does do that. If you DIY do it, you can tell that. Do a little bit of. You're the DIY guy. You're the punk guy, mate. So can you?
Maybe I like more music then.
Maybe you do. This is from Baby Queen, who we've kind of like talked about and raved about on the show many times before already. She's dropped her third track, which is called Medicine. They released Buzzkill like a few weeks ago. And this is kind of like pointing towards her debut EP, which is going to come later in the year as well at some point. Not sure yet, but it's coming at some point. She kind of appeared out of nowhere almost in 2020. She's kind of dropping songs. Internet Religion was the first one, then Buzzkill, and now this. And it's kind of like she's twisting kind of like this pop world where she can go like quite indie, or she can go really pop, and she can really play around with it. But what's in the heart of it is just this amazing songwriting with like great melodies, and it just feels like she's just like a born pop star. She's ready to be as big as possible in terms of take on those huge stages, and it feels like quite open about her ambition about it. This song is quite a personal one. It's talking quite a lot about like mental health and she's obviously in this month's magazine. She's kind of the lead hype chat in there, and she talks a lot about how she kind of this idea of like dismantling this idea of like a fake world where you have to always look, you have to be perfect or don't bother at all. It's like, well, actually, everyone has flaws, everyone has blemishes, and the world needs to see that, and not to bring yourself down because of it. And that's quite an important thing for Baby Queen, and
like the Matrix.
it can kind of really be sown in medicines. Kind of like the Matrix, yeah,
Like
yeah, kind of like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's like Inception, except it's not Leo DiCaprio running around not knowing what he's doing. With that wonderful overview,
stick it on a poster.
Stick it on a poster. This is Baby Queen. This is medicine.
Thank God for my medicine. I feel so apathetic when I take my medicine, and it's in my head again. Thank God for my medicine. I feel so much better, and if it wasn't for my medicine, I'd wanna be dead again. Oh my God, I love my medicine.
Stick it on a poster. Do you think like one day people will actually accept our we'll use these quotes for posters? I mean, I've seen quotes on posters before that have come from me, and I always feel a bit weird about that. Have you seen that from yourself? Have you seen when you like a little name pops up and you're like, oh, it's a bit weird?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. But,
sorry.
I'm
Mr.
arrogant.
Highbrow, this showbiz over here, just like, oh yeah, that's me up there. Just
Well, what
check
when?
the name, don't wear it out.
Yeah, I'm arrogant. Think I'm great. My name should be on more posters. Before anyone releases a poster, they should come to me and be like, "What do you think of this?" And I'll tell
Jake
them.
warned me that it was going to go like this. That suddenly I didn't realise halfway
So the
through,
poster should go quote, then my name in really big letters, and then whatever the fucking nonsense it is promoting just underneath that.
You've heard it here first, advertisers.
And that's what every
You've heard it here
poster
first.
and billboard should do.
You're out of control.
I've spoken to the people at Dork about this because I don't know if you've read the magazine, but like it's got the big artist name, big photo.
Don't know if you read the magazine.
Maybe they just like the audio version of it. Maybe they think the magazine is just this on paper. It's not.
Yeah,
it's a little bit.
It's not. It's a bit better, to be honest.
Yeah, this is definitely better.
well. God almighty.
In the magazine, it's got like the big artist name, like a fun title, big photo, and then like a little tiny font, like who wrote it. I say that should be reversed. It should be like Jamie Muir presents an interview with, I don't know, Baby Queen. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone's here for. Don't get me wrong, you're boosting my confidence here. I feel ready to take on the world now.
Good. I hope Sam from Bristol's still listening. Here's this and thinks, I'm going to go and I'm going to be the boss of that place and they can fuck off with the Christmas music.
Yeah. Also, anyway, you should go in with your own music. Go with your own music. Go in with as in you making music, Sam. But just go in, just whack the CD down. Be like, we're playing this.
No, not a CD. Take a little synth in. Just vibe. And then go, aren't you working? Be like, yeah, I fucking am. Working on my tunes.
It's going to be really awkward if he works in like a hospital or something and we've just encouraged him to just sit there just with a synth playing like fucking, I don't know, Hall
There's no music in a hospital. So
there's not, famously.
So, yeah. So, fear not, Jamie. He's not going to go into hospital. He's not he's not a brain surgeon tinkling away on a synth.
We don't know. Well,
the chief nurse
further down the line.
I know you're concentrating, but should we put Rage Against the Machine's Christmas #1 on? And he's furious. He's gone, the only person that can solve this is Dork.
Yeah, that's it. He's turned to us, the brain surgeon. Oh, God.
That's so
good on you, sir.
Yeah, what I like about that Baby Queen song, I listened to it earlier, wrote some notes down. Do you want to know what notes say? Would you like me to read them out to you?
Yeah. This is what we're here for, mate. Give us your thoughts.
I enjoy how it builds. So.
Brilliant. Well, that's good. That's good. Jesus, here he is. Deep examination over here.
Well, you did such a good job at the start talking about all the serious stuff. I just thought I'd
you've come in with that.
Make it a bit personal so people can relate to us.
Yeah.
We're not some untouchable musical gurus. We're just regular people like you. We enjoy how stuff's built.
This has come 5 minutes after you literally went, "I'm great, put me on top of a poster." Yeah, we're normal people. We're normal people.
I think everyone's great, Jamie.
It's true. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. But also what it needs is another track. Ali, have you got another little track knocking about?
I do.
What's it about?
I've got a track from Apre, APRE, all capital letters. So
nice.
You have to shout it. Apre with I mean, I would do it louder, but that's what it means.
Neighbours. Don't wake them up.
Yeah. Don't want to disturb the bowls.
Yeah. Of course, famously above. Apre, new track. What's it called? What's it saying?
It's called Without Your Love, and it's taken from their upcoming mini album, which seems like a cop out. Always in my head. But let's not get into mini album discourse because it's either an EP or an album. Mini album's not a thing. It's not smaller.
No. Anyway, they're playing around with it. They're having a bit of fun, you know. They're like, well, you know, bit of this, bit of that, bit of this, bit of that.
That fast of a format is out October 6th. The track's great, though.
What's the song? Nice.
It's called Without Your Love. It kind of sounds a little bit like Every Breath You Take by The Police, but just not as stalkery. So it's
thank God. That's good.
It's better than The Police. That Police classic.
Because of that. Yeah. The Police shit 'em. Yeah.
Shit. All cops famously are bastards, and the Police no different.
No different. No. That was the message you got from this track, was it? It was all cops are bastards. We are really sending for a lot of people this day. Like, we killed David Blaine the last one, but we've just unleashed a real inner side of you.
Well, you invite a punk, you get punk.
It's true. I mean, you have lived up to the punk side of it. I can't fault you.
Obviously, you can't.
You get a club note.
At home, you're obviously listening to this, but just saying, I just poured a little bit of my water onto the carpet. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't give a fuck. And I'm not going to tidy up either. I might start smelling soon.
Yeah, that'll show you for the place you live in. Yeah. That'll bring them down. Yeah, that'll do it.
Anyway, this track's nothing to get angry about. It's a really lovely track, a lovely slice of like 80s infused alt pop. Had a lovely time.
I listened to it. Yeah, I listened to it before.
I'm glad you listened to it.
I remember seeing them. I remember seeing them before. It actually was this year before everything shut down. Weirdly enough, managed to get in and see them.
Oh, that little glimpse of freedom we had in 2020.
Yeah, the little glimmer of like, oh god, gigs at the start of this year. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a really good year, isn't it? And I'm like, those are the only gigs I'm seeing. Yeah, we did, and they were.
No, maybe I won't go out tonight. I've got 364 other days to enjoy with this year.
Easy, no problem. Oh wait, so but that was really good. Maybe, and they've got this kind of like. They really want to be, I don't know, this like huge pop band. Like I kind of got a little bit of like Coldplay when watching them, like in a really good way though. When Coldplay goes its most like pure pop bombastic, like that, it's that kind of vibe, which I really rate.
Good band.
Famously good band. They've done
wonders.
A lot
of indie landfill bands.
I mean, I think they'll take that. Let's be frank. Like,
that's the list I want to see. These are all the bands. Better than these are all the indie landfill bands better than Coldplay, and it would be what the Fratellis, Just Jack, probably it. All the rest shit.
That's it.
Shit by comparison.
Just Jack, famously better than Coldplay. You heard it here first. God, I know you're gonna play a song, so but I've just realised I'm kind of getting hungry, so I might just go and get something to eat. I believe.
We go Tesco's, Sainsbury's.
I might just go. I've got a little allotment, which you'll be surprised by. I've got this little greenery patch.
A bit green.
Where, yeah. So when I'm not busy buying tins of meatballs, I have. Yeah. I've got to go pluck it. I've got to go pluck the tin of meatballs and the gravy granules, famously, out of the grass, because that's where I grow them. So I better shoot over to the allotment and just get that. I mean, I'm not going to be too long. I believe Fee from Bloxx is coming up after this. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll open the door and let her in and tell her to avoid that wet patch on the floor.
Yeah, definitely avoid that. Jesus Christ! Explain what the patch is, please. Like, we've got guests coming. You know, come on now. You know, there are loos here.
I'll put a towel down. It's water.
Thank God. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the allotment. Are you gonna play this track?
Yeah, I'll soundtrack your exit with Après, Without Your Love.
It's what it could have been. I've seen your face, but now I see it on the screen. I don't think I like this. Without your love, we're miles apart. So go take your love and leave me in the dark. And without your love, we're miles apart. So go take your love and leave me in the dark. You were running away.
So our record of this week is Bloxx's stunning debut, Lie Out Loud. Jamie's had to pop out to water his allotment and check for slugs, but luckily I'm joined by vocalist, guitarist and all-out superstar Fee from actual Bloxx. Good afternoon, Fee. How are things?
Yeah, great. It's a hectic week so far, so all things are good.
Yeah, I mean, what have you been up to this week? What's been on the agenda?
Just loads of tying up loose ends and making sure that the release goes smoothly. I guess it's been a wild ride so far.
Yeah, because we're speaking before the album's out, but by the time people will hear this, the album will be actually out. So close your eyes, picture yourselves in a few days' time. How does it feel to have Lie Out Loud out in the world?
Yeah, it's mental. Well, you know, we've been waiting for so long to release this, so the fact that it's like kind of out and in the world for people to hear and love, hopefully, then it's a bit surreal, really, because I know that I think back to like when we first got the album back from mastering, and that was probably like a year ago, maybe like just like 10, 11 months ago now. So it's like we've been waiting for this moment for a while.
I mean, you've been kind of like leaking little snippets of tracks online. Have you ever been tempted just to kind of, drop the whole thing?
Yeah, definitely. I had to actually delete my own personal Twitter because I was scared that I was going to like start like just randomly leaking our music, because that seems to be something I do on a regular basis. So I had to make sure I don't do that anymore.
It's, debut album time. I guess you can't be sort of leaking your own music anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, I had to let that one go.
Yeah. I mean, was it always going to be called Lie Out Loud, or did you consider other names? For example, Roll on the Floor Lying, Lie My Ass Off, and that's all I've got.
Lie My Ass Off. That was a pretty good one. No, to be fair, it was it was kind of an obvious thing for us to call it Lie Out Loud. It didn't take much. I was thinking about it for a few weeks, and we didn't really have many other options which we felt like were like the standout thing. Lie Out Loud just seemed to kind of capture the whole record, and I did at first. I kind of wanted to call it Ride the Line, which I guess is kind of close to Lie Out Loud, but because that's a lyric from one of the songs that I wrote like the longest time ago. So but yeah, I guess it just feels right, because it's kind of a little bit of a joke on the whole like laugh out loud thing, but it's like lie out loud instead.
Yeah, because it does feel like a real sort of coming of age record. Did it kind of feel like you were growing up as you were making it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, the first like the end track on the record I wrote when I was like 20, like 3 years ago now. So it's like crazy for me to think that like I've kind of spent the last 3 years writing lyrics and growing up, and that I think that's kind of obvious in the record, and that's why I feel like it's very personal, and I think hopefully people can like kind of relate to the whole growing up thing.
Yeah, and because obviously there's none of the old tracks are on it, it's all new material.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a scary thing to do, isn't it? We keep getting tweets like, I really wish you put like old stuff on it, but we just wanted to do a fresh piece of like a fresh project, just stuff that was like, you know, it was a long time ago since we kind of released an EP or anything like that. So it just felt like the right thing to do is just keep it interesting and make 12 new tracks.
Yeah, I mean, how many songs did you write for the record? Like, was it a process of sort of cutting it down from like 200 to the 12, or was it like, shit, we're gonna need one more track, guys? Come on, we can do it.
Actually, it was never I wish it was 200. That would have been like, we would have not had slim pickings anyway. We would have had a lot to choose from. But no, it was kind of like I was writing over a period of a year or a year and a half, and we started talking about the prospect of having to put together a debut album, and we, management and label, kind of put a list together of the stuff I'd done in the past, and then over that time we recorded a couple. We recorded Coming Up Short, Hey Jenny, and Go Out With You before the album, and then I started writing kind of more frequently last summer. I did a load of sessions, and then we kind of picked the best ones. There's a few, you know, that I've done and, you know, didn't make the record, which I like. It happens in every kind of project, every band, but there's one tune that I wish that really was put on the record, so hopefully I get to put it on the album too.
Or you can leak it. Fire up your Twitter.
Or I could leak it, yeah. Fire up my Twitter, start leaking music again.
I mean, what are the plans for celebrating its release? What are you going to do Friday night? Friday morning?
Well, I don't know about Friday morning. We're gonna. I do actually have to probably be somewhat good to myself that day, because there's probably got to be a lot to do. But no, we're gonna go out for dinner on Friday night with the team and the band and our girlfriends and stuff, and just have like a nice chilled meal in King's Cross. So that's the celebration. I'm sure we'll have drinks afterwards. I'm sure I'll end up in some greasy pub in East London by like 2 a.m.
Just telling people like, stream my album.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know what I will do on Friday. I'm scared. I kind of feel like I might get non-alcoholic beers just so I don't like become too completely elated.
Yeah, because I imagine that's got to be, because we've been talking about this album for 2-3 years now, I think. Like, it's got to be like a big release when you finally get to the point where it's like, it's out for everyone to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
And like lyrically, you've always kind of written straight from the heart, which I think is why people seem to gravitate to your band so much. I mean, what are you singing about on this album?
Yeah, I always try and write a little bit like relatable, because it's very personal, and I guess it's like when I'm writing lyrics, it's I'm not writing them like with anything in mind. I'm actually kind of trying to figure out how I'm feeling, and I think a lot of people like that, like relatability. We get that kind of a lot, you know. People message us and say like, this song hit me, or like, this song helped me figure things out, and I really like that. But the album is like, in every song there's like a different kind of part of my life and like experience that I've experienced that I'm talking about, and some of those songs actually helped me to, I guess, figure out what was kind of going on in my head. So yeah, the album's kind of like, it's literally it's me growing up, you know. Like the lyrics on it are based on situations where I was put in a hard position, or in some songs a really good position, and just figuring yourself out. So I think a lot of people will kind of relate to that, and hopefully, you know, let it kind of sink in for them, and they'll really gravitate towards it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, are there any sort of messages you want people to get from the album?
Yeah, I guess the whole thing is that like, one is like, don't lie to yourself, and also the biggest message that I've been like thinking and talking about recently is like, don't be afraid to sing about your personal experiences and to be yourself through your art. Like I was speaking in an interview about this the other day, and it's like, it's a really important time right now for everyone, where you can feel somewhat like personal, and you feel like you're expressive in your art. And I think when you're able to sing about some of the things that I sing about, like openly being gay and the struggles and long distance relationships and relatability like that, I think it's really good to express yourself through art. So one of the biggest messages for our fans and for people is to just be unapologetically you, and to always just express yourself. And if you're in the situation that you're finding difficult, like, it gets better. And that's, I think, the record kind of, it's just about finding, someone will find one song on that record which really helps them figure something out. And I think that the biggest message to take is that whatever song you like the best and helps you the most, that's your tune, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Because, like, I guess, you know, even the first song you released, you know, Your Boyfriend, like, that's, you know, quite blatantly a song about, you know, a girl loving a girl. But, like, I guess at that point you weren't kind of sure that anyone would hear it, because you kind of just put it on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. And also kind of I used to get a lot that I had a really androgynous voice, and like people would always be like, oh, is that a guy or a girl? And I didn't really care about that, because I didn't think it would be like a big deal. But as we've gotten, you know, I've always kind of been open to singing about personal stuff, and I think that's why people really, really dig the lyrics. Like, I know that people say that they're quite cutthroat and to the point, and I like that, because that's kind of the thing that I like. I like listening to music where I can relate really hard, because I'm basically, they're so straightforward that you're basically put in that situation yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Do you kind of feel like you got more confident sort of in the past couple of years with your songwriting?
Yeah, definitely. I think as a band, we're a little bit like, we're a little less scared now to kind of let our influences and what we listen to kind of dictate what we sound like, you know, because I think for a while we were trying really, really, really hard to just make indie guitar grungy stuff, and for me that wasn't that. Of course I love doing it. I love writing music, and I love guitars, and I love listening to indie, and that's basically like my influences in rock music. But it got to a point where I grew up a little bit. I think the boys kind of grew up a little bit, and we still love all of that sort of stuff, but I think I got a bit confident with writing this record, where I was a little bit more happier to bring a little bit of pop into the mix, and kind of let it become its own thing rather than just being, you know, grunge. And I think that was like really important, because the confidence levels just rose, and that's great, because then you can literally just express yourself without feeling scared. And the fact that people really like the singles so far, I dig that. I'm so happy.
Speaking of which, should we listen to a track?
Yeah.
Here is Bloxx with Off My Mind.
We can do this every night, me and you and I. I can get you up, but never get you off my mind. I know what you like, I can feed your appetite. I can get you up, but never get you off my mind. I can get you up, but never get you off my mind. I can get you up, but never get you off my mind.
It's a real pop banger, isn't it?
Yeah, I do love that tune. I think I always say that it's one of my favourites on the record, but then I say that about every tune. So no, it's great. It's a really fun one to play live as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, are you missing gigging?
Yeah, totally. I think we're a band that rely so hard, like hardly rely so. We just depend on live shows. Like, we love the feeling, the exhilaration. Like, it's just an amazing feeling. We've always been a band that we just love live shows. I think our live shows can be a bit like hectic sometimes, and that's like what we love, you know. Like, the first time we ever saw a mosh pit was like at our show was like in Nottingham in 2017, and we were like the opening band, so we were just like, what's going on, this is so cool. And yeah, that just kind of made live shows for us. I mean, I miss them so much.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like, you know, you've done quite a lot of like big support slots, and it feels like you've kind of stolen a lot of fans that way from other bands.
Yeah, I think I think you could probably say that. We definitely we definitely have kind of gone and apprehended some fans from different bands. Yeah.
Do you think that's why kind of you spent a while like trying to write kind of this indie grungy music, because that's what people knew you for?
Yeah, I mean, it was never like we didn't try too hard for anything. I think it was more like it was just what we were pumping out, and I think it's because we were around we were around that scene, we were around those kinds of bands, and it was mainly what we were listening to every night. We were playing it every night, and I think our live shows. That's where what I like about us is that our live shows are a little bit grungier than maybe our recorded stuff. But that's the fun part of it, isn't it? A band that sounds like completely like the record. I feel like there's no fun in that. There's no like energy. There's no like. There's just no fun and energy at a live show like that. So I think that we can make a pop song. Well, we can make like a indie pop song, but then when we play it live, it's like just a pure straight indie banger.
Speaking of live shows, like this weekend would have been Reading. Obviously, like you're down to play. Like how gutted are you that isn't going ahead?
Like the most upset person. Well, I think all four of us are just like so incredibly sad. But like we did when we got the email saying that we were opening main stage. I think I had a tear. I was in America at the time, and the first thing I did was ring my mum and was just like, "Hey, mum, guess what?" And I was like, "We're playing Reading Leeds on the main stage," and it was like a moment, and I don't think I'll ever forget that. But then, because it didn't get cancelled for a while, and everyone kind of knew it was going to get cancelled, it kind of just sunk in that like it was going to happen. So by the time it got cancelled, we all just kind of went, "Oh well, we knew it was going to happen." But just fingers crossed, like we get the opportunity to do it again next year, because that is literally the biggest dream I think all four of us have ever had, is to play that stage at Reading. And hopefully we get back to it next year, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Because was it 2018 where you did the Radio 1 tent?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So in a year you've gone from second stage to opening main stage. That's a big jump.
Yeah, it is. And the weirdest thing is, in 2018 we played the Festival Republic stage, and then in 2019 we played Radio 1 stage, and then in 2020 we would have just done like a really cool succession. And it's out of anyone's hands, but like it would have been like it would have been the perfect journey, like through the Reading Festival site.
Do you feel ready for kind of stages that big?
Oh, I don't think anyone ever does, really. It's like one of those things that I mean, I could say, yeah, I'm like I want to be destined for main stages, but it's always, the first thing that pops into your mind is, whoa, that's a terribly big stage. And it's also a Reading Festival, things like that. People go to the main stage for the whole day and like stand there for the headliners just to wait for them. So it's not like you're just playing in front of your fans, you're playing in front of people that you want to like you. So it is a bit scary. I think, given the fact that if we hadn't been able to rehearse because of coronavirus all summer and Reading was still going on, then I would be shitting myself, because we would definitely not be ready, because it would take probably a week or 2 weeks at least of just production rehearsals and like trying to get everything great sounding on our in-ears and everything like that. So yeah, I'm kind of, in a way, I was like, whew, we kind of dodged a bullet, but at the same time, like, it would have been the best bullet had it hit me.
But like the songs on this record, they sound deliberately big to kind of, to fit stages like that, to fit kind of, your Ali Pallies and your Brixtons.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I write. I think I write choruses with the intent that they're gonna just like totally elate a crowd when we play them live. I think that's the best way to write, because then you're writing with your fan base in mind. You're writing with the people who are coming to see you in mind. And I think we've always done that. Writing choruses and stuff that you want to hear people sing back to you, because nothing is better than hearing people sing your songs back to you. I don't think I've found a better feeling than that.
Amazing. You've got a love song on the record called 5,000 Miles.
Yeah.
Do you think you're 10 times the band the Proclaimers are?
Oh, I knew this was gonna come up from someone. I've been avoiding this question from in press interviews and stuff. Like, not avoiding it, but hoping, fingers crossed, the whole way through that no one mentions it. But no.
We're famed for our hard-hitting journalism on the Dorkcast.
Yeah. No, I don't think, when we were titling that song, I remember sending an email to our management, and I was like, I don't think we should call this tune 5,000 Miles, because it's similar to that Proclaimers tune, and it's people are gonna take the piss out of us. And they were like, no, come on. And then I was like, well, what about that song, the piano song, I would walk 1,000 miles. That 1,000 Miles tune by is it Vanessa Carlton? It's like that as well. So it's there's so many songs that people could attribute that song to. So I'm just hoping that the Proclaimers is continually the last one on the list.
Well, lean into it. When you do get back to playing lives, open a little bit of the Proclaimers.
Yeah, maybe that
Proclaimers
should be
medley.
our walk-on song. Yeah, it can be our walk-on song. We'll just play it for 30 seconds before we get on the stage.
I'm surprised no one's done that yet. It's a tune.
Yeah, it might have already been done. We did have an idea, but before this headline tour, that we were going to use the SpongeBob SquarePants theme tune as our walk-on song, but
nice.
only because the first tune that we play in the set is in the same key. Yeah, pretty cool.
It is. Right, now for a fun game we've created just for you. It's called Bloxx
nice.
Busters, which is, is clever. It's clever,
That is
right?
clever. Yeah, it's really clever.
Right. So I want you to imagine you're in a real life version of Netflix, and you can pick one movie, and that one movie is the only movie you're allowed to watch for the rest of your life. What'd you pick?
Only movie I'm allowed to watch for the rest of my life. I would have to either say Anchorman or Law-Abiding Citizen. Oh no, wait, The Zodiac Killer with Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, okay, Anchorman or The Zodiac with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Now, those films sort of sit at opposite ends of the movie spectrum.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I haven't seen The Zodiac Killer, but it doesn't sound like a comedy.
No, it's really good. I recommend it to anyone. It's about the serial killer from California, and Jake Gyllenhaal plays this detective, and they're trying to find him. Basically, it's really, really good. It's long. It's 2.5 hours, but it's one of those films. It's really good. It's kind of it's just a psychological kind of. It's great. I love psychological thrillers and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan.
I mean, do you reckon you'd make a good detective?
I did actually want to be a detective for a short period of time way back in the day, but I wouldn't at all, no, because I miss big, massive clues. I did one of those escape rooms in Manchester once, and the only reason I got through it was because my ex-girlfriend and her best mate were incredibly good at it. They were finding things on the wall, and I was like, how would you find yeah, no, I'd be a horrible detective.
I mean, maybe you can start sort of bring it into the band, backstage, work out, who's stolen things from your rider.
Oh yeah, that's tour detectives. We usually leave that up to the tour manager. The tour manager can do his tour detective work. Who's stolen our waters?
Tour manager sounds like a movie I'd watch.
Tour manager, yeah, our tour manager deserves his own movie, to be fair.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad that game worked out, because otherwise I was going to ask you the reason the last person you blocked on social media, but that could get bleak very quickly, I think.
I don't think I've blocked anyone on social media for a while, I just tend to, I don't actually use my personal accounts that much anymore. I tend to just be kind of...
Because you'd leak all your music. You just leak all your music as soon as you log in.
Yeah, literally. No, I tend to just be on the Bloxx account a lot more. I find it, it's really sociable. I like talking to everyone, and seeing what people are saying and if they're enjoying stuff. And it just tends to take a little bit more time to do that and then be on my personal. So I haven't blocked anyone on the Bloxx account. That would cause some issues. Oh, actually, no, I'll tell you a lie. I did have to block someone on Twitter the other day because their name is like Bloxx, and all they ever tweet, when they tweet, they come up in our like if you search our name and you like looking for reviews and stuff like that, their tweets, and they tweet like every 5 seconds. So like when you search, that it's just them. So I had to block them. I'm sorry. I think it's like some like bloody Ben 10 fan account, and they're just like talking about aliens, and it's quite funny. So I had to block them.
But you know, once album release has died down, you can go back to getting your Ben 10 news.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So are you spending a lot? Are you going to spend a lot next week, sort of just on the internet, kind of reading the comments about the record?
I think I'm going to try. I think I'm going to try not to too deeply, because like you know, for every 10 good comments, there can always be a bad one, and no matter how many good comments there are, sometimes the bad ones can always be a little bit more detrimental. But I'm not. I find it quite funny when we get bad comments. But everything's been so positive about the record. Everything that I've seen, you know, I think everyone's kind of digging it, and yeah, I'll spend next week kind of trawling through, hopefully the good bits.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've only heard good things about the record because it's a very good record.
Oh, cheers. Thanks, man. That means so much.
We've got time. We can play one more song from your record, which is in stores now. Go and buy it, stream it. Don't steal it. What song would you like us to play? Don't steal it.
Or have you got do you have the whole record or just singles?
We've got the whole record.
Oh, yeah, go on then. All right. I think we should go a little emotional, anthemic little bit of changes in here right now.
Oh, nice. Do you want to introduce it in your best radio presenter voice?
Okay, my best radio presenter voice. And this is Bloxx with Changes on Dorkcast.
Going through changes, and nothing I do will change your mind. We're becoming strangers, maybe we're running out of time. You tell me it's okay, you tell me it's right, you tell me that I am always right. Going through changes, so won't you tell me why I'll never change your mind?
Oh, beautiful. What a track.
I laughed at, like in the awkward silence. I'm sorry.
It's fine. We can edit that out, and if not, then you know, people can have a little glimpse behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Change is one of those tracks that's like, it's a curveball on the record.
Yeah. It's totally like not what you would expect, which is why I love it so much.
Is it your favourite track?
No, I think my favorite on the record is Give Me the Keys, because or like Coming Up Short is one of my favorite songs we've ever written as a whole. Just because sonically it's just totally me, and like exactly what I've always like kind of strived to sound like when I've been writing since at college. You know, what I was writing in college sounded like that, and I think that's like pays the most homage to me as a writer and our sound as a band. But Give Me the Keys is one of those like mid-album songs that kind of go, ooh, this is a sneaky banger.
I think that's the thing, like every track on the record, they're all a little bit different, but they're all bangers.
Yeah, I think, you know, but I think we've always done a really good job at making like never sticking to one sort of sound and being, you know, not boring, but nothing sounds the same, and that makes it fun for us, you know, and fun for fans, because there's a little bit of something for everyone, like literally a little bit of something for everyone. And because we all listen to so many different genres of music in the band, and I've got the most eclectic taste in music. Like I could sit there and listen to Ludovico Einaudi on a big classical piano for hours, or I could go and listen to like a Paramore record. Like it's so great to just be a little bit diverse and kind of not put out the same song 12 times.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and we've been, I've been asking you about this album for, like I said, about 2 years now. So I'm really glad it's finally coming out. But can I be one of the first to ask when we're getting the second record?
Sooner than you may think, actually.
Okay.
We're in this not like January, February. No, a lot sooner than it might have been if we had released this last year or the year before, because things are because there's no touring and all of those sorts of things. The only thing that we can do really is push out music and release stuff. And I've actually written like half of the second one already, so we're aiming to record it this year. So fingers crossed, all things provided, that you get a number 2.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're busy.
Well, thank you for having me. No, not busy. Not too busy for Dotcast, don't worry.
I guess, lastly, why should people listen to Lie Out Loud? Give it a little sell.
Okay. You should go and listen to our debut record because it's like our firstborn child and it needs looking after. And also it's kind of like one of those records where there's something for everyone and it's great to kind of listen from front to back in order and come on a journey with us. I think, there's guitars, there's tears, there's blood, there's emotion, there's panic attacks, just go and stream it, buy it, listen to it, and maybe help us chart this week. Please.
Thank you so much, Fee.
Cheers, man.
Did I miss anything? I saw Fee from Bloxx just leaving. She looked at me a bit funny because I was just holding cans of meatballs covered in mud. It's been raining. That's all.
Yeah, we did talk a bit about how you were out there counting slugs, but
Oh yeah, I mean,
I just mentioned it in passing. I know you like to.
You didn't say too much. Didn't say too much.
Well, Jake has his voles. You have the slugs.
Yeah. We've got to stay
the
together.
Original Odd Couple.
Like a 70s sitcom.
He keeps gold. He keeps slugs.
He's got it. Smashing. How was Fee? Fee was all right. Was Fee
was good. While you're in your allotment, did you?
Yeah.
I know you grow in sort of meatballs and stuff. Did you grow any vegetables? Any sweet corn?
I do grow tins of sweet corn as well. I don't grow the actual corn. I grow the tins, but the sweet corn is in the tins. Because that's how the tins actually come to the supermarket floor, is that they arrive, like they're from the ground, if you don't know.
And then someone arranges them on the cob.
Yeah, and then they're done. That's how it works.
That's what a cobbler is.
If you will. What a cobbler is famously. Yeah, nothing to do with shoes. Jesus. It's actually a job.
Yeah, shoes. That's a shoemaker.
Shoes, mate. Get out of it, you
everyone knows elves make shoes.
Duh. In their little huts, come on.
Anyway, wasn't corn in the news this week, Jamie Muir?
Corn was in the news this week.
Did it make some headlines?
Yeah, so I actually passed it on to someone, and it nicely brings us on to our next section, which is famously known as Tweets of the Week. Yes, you should build up. That was a good segue, but it's all fine. So I gave some of the corn to someone, and they tweeted about it. Is all I'm saying.
Oh, that's nice.
Was
it glowing endorsement?
Well, something was glowing, and it wasn't the endorsement. It was
which
another
indie
part
icon?
of someone's anatomy.
Oh, which indie icon got a spoonful of Jamie Muir's corn?
It was James Blunt who tweeted. Didn't at me though, so come on, mate, bring it on. Play the game. He said just replied with, this morning, I shat an entire corn on the cob after eating only sweet corn for 3 days. I I just want to disclose that my sweet corn in a tin is absolutely fine. It has received all the, plaudits and approvals needed.
It's not pre-owned.
It's not pre-owned. It's not used once. It's actual, normal corn. I just don't know why James Blunt's continuing to do this to himself. We talked last week about the meat-only diet, which gave him scurvy because he was, I don't know, trying to assert some masculinity. And now, for some reason, he ate corn on the cob. And
maybe he knew Reading Leeds were booking soon and thought, it's the only way I can get on that lineup. If I was a bit more of a bloke.
And he's sorely disappointed because he's not playing. A real devastating blow to James Blunt's lineup.
He hasn't been announced yet. We don't want to rule that out completely.
Well, we never know. We never know. He might be on the last wave. But
Fingers
more of a devastating
crossed.
blow. More of a devastating blow was what he got rid of, if you will, which was an entire corn on the cob.
Got a couple of questions about this tweet.
Yeah.
Firstly, I kind of expected James Blunt to not use the word shat.
Yeah. What do you think he would have used? Deposited. Dropped off.
This morning I poo-pooed an entire corn on the cob.
He's not a character from like a fucking Wes Anderson film. Jesus Christ!
Just something with a little bit more, a little bit more poetry to it. He's one of
Wait.
He's one of this generation's greatest songwriters. Yeah,
and you went poo-pooed. That's poetry, is it?
I'm not a songwriter. I'm sure.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a songwriter.
He's a lot of things, but he's not a songwriter. Oh god.
Anyway, so apart from his choice of words, when he says an entire corn on the cob, does he mean quantity-wise? Has he looked at that and gone, yeah, that's about all corn, or is it like the whole? Is it assembled itself in his stomach?
Potentially,
like some sort of weird vegetable-based transformer.
Yeah,
and then
maybe he's a little
like the scene from Alien.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, and he's fine because he's tweeting about it, so it's all fine.
Yeah.
Basically, I think the moral of the story is just don't eat straight corn, like sweet corn, for 3 days, mate. Just don't do it.
Don't eat sweet corn at all. It's a shit food.
No. Eat tinned meatballs because that never happens. Trust me. Heavens above. I've got another. I've got another tweet. If you want, Ali. Got another one.
Yeah, sure. We've got room for a little bit more tweets.
Not about corn on the cob. This one's from El Divine, friend of the magazine, who has said, truth be told, I was baked when I wrote Naked Alone. I actually have no recollection of writing that song.
What does she mean? Like she was in an oven?
Yes, that's exactly what she means. She means that she was being baked, maybe, or she was baking some sort of goods. If so, El Divine, share it round. We're trying to eat. I've got muddy tins in my hand now. I would like, if there's some baked goods somewhere, that'd be really nice.
What do you reckon she was baking? Sourdough, probably.
Sourdough is the trend at the moment, but I feel like El Divine's better than that. I feel like she'd be great at making cakes, as in, like, I reckon she'd be really good at making, I don't know. I think she could make a really nice key lime pie, maybe.
It's not a cake.
Well.
What is it? It's a cheesecake. It's not like a sponge cake.
If we want to get into that, I'll see you out back.
So we're gonna have a custard pie fight.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
In fact, hold on. I've got a cake here. I see you've got a cake there. Should we just go and have that? What we'll do while we're having this scrap, we will time it, obviously, because this could go on forever. Like, we could be fighting for the rest of the night. But
you've seen a circus.
You've seen them.
Just goes on and on.
Just goes
on.
And on.
Just like this podcast, like audio handkerchiefs being pulled from a magician's pocket.
Exactly it. I was thinking more it's like when someone gets squirted in the face with water again and again. It's just annoying. It just hits you. You're like, ha, but then
it's like a clown car. You press play on the podcast, we open the door, and just tiny clowns come flying out and they don't stop.
They honestly don't stop, and unfortunately, it won't stop for a long time. So while we go and have this custard pie fight, we're going to time ourselves to this song, which is Eldervine's latest one. This is "Don't Say It."
I want to believe it. Don't say it if you don't really mean it. No lie, give me the real shit. Don't say it if you don't really mean it. I cry. I know inside you're not mine. Are you? Don't say it if you. Don't say it if you. Don't say it if you. Don't really want to believe it.
I think. Did you have a rock in one of yours? Because it hit me in the
rock
eye. What do you mean
Rock
a rock
cakes.
cake?
Like a
Can't
rock
be doing
cake.
that.
You never heard of a rock
Rock
cake? It's a real
No,
thing.
what the fuck is that?
Go on, you
Ugh.
go on BBC Good Food, you Google rock cake, and you'll find it's a real
Beans.
thing.
I forgot you were a chef. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
here he is sticking rocks in fucking cakes. Oh God. Oh,
Sorry,
I think,
mate.
I think I've got angina. Oh, heavens above.
Isn't that like a
Heavens
leg
above.
thing
Yeah, it is.
or a
But
heart thing?
it's
It's not a head
it's
thing.
it's in the eye. I've got angina of the eye.
Oh no,
Oh.
vagina.
Where are they playing? Oh, never mind. Ali, have you got one more tweet? I believe.
I reckon.
I believe. Yeah.
do.
Have you got one?
Do you-
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it out?
Yeah. If you've got it, man, just
is,
go for it.
It's from Blaine Harrison. You know Blaine Harrison, don't you?
Off of Mystery Jets.
Yeah, Mystery Jets Blaine Harrison,
Lovely guy. Lovely guy.
who came out with this a bold statement, I think, in the current circumstances.
Yeah.
And it was, if I must die on any hill, let it be Indy Landfill Mountain.
Amen, Blaine. Amen. I rate it. You know, just embrace it. You know, it was a part of time, a wonderful time.
Were
and,
Mystery
you know-
Jets Indy Landfill?
Well, this is it. They weren't. Here's the thing. Like, I actually think indie landfill as a whole. You know, we've talked about it a lot, but it actually was probably only like a very small selection of bands. Like all the other bands around it were really good. You
I
know,
think the ones-
it's
and also the
rude
weird
to
thing
chuck them
is-
in.
The ones that are kicking off about it, like no one's had a go, no one's had a pop. I think they just want to be involved.
Get involved. Yeah, exactly.
Please put my song in your 50 songs of Indie Landfill. Please.
Exactly.
Please listen to a Mystery Jets song.
But they were in it. I think they were in it. Yeah, they were in the.
Oh.
I mean, like, yeah.
Oh, then I
It's the
take
whole
it back,
thing,
Blaine.
isn't
I'm
it?
awfully sorry for accusing you of some trying to jump on a trend to further your own
Yeah.
career.
He was on the train, mate. He was on the
Oh,
train. He's on the mountain.
Firstly, Blaine, you're not Indie Landfill. You're just
no,
indie.
you're not. Yeah. And a
Secondly-
very good indie as well.
Secondly, is it hill or mountain?
Ooh. What's the difference between a hill and a mountain? What's the key difference? Is it the rugged edges?
Well, a hill, you know, it sounds quaint, doesn't it? Like a little grassy hill.
Yeah.
You could probably jog up it if you were so inclined. Get a nice view, nice area
If you were so
advantage on.
inclined.
Hey!
Yay!
If you're going to have a skirmish with an opposing town's force, I reckon you'd pop up there to get the higher ground. A mountain, treacherous, isn't it?
Yeah. Mountains can be dangerous. I mean, like, when I think of mountains, I'm thinking of, like, Everest. Whereas
Yeah.
hill, I'm thinking of, like, technically there's a hill up my road. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's technically a hill.
I kind of feel like
yeah.
Indie Landfill was probably more of a hill than a mountain.
Yeah. Because everyone did get up it in the end, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like there was very few people who scaled the peak of it. You know, everyone got there. You know, people got on a bus and went up. There was a bus that went up the hill. You know, there's no buses that go up Everest.
No.
Just wouldn't work.
You need like a
Be
ski
nightmare.
lift. That'll only get you halfway up.
Oh, yeah, and then you got to get off and then go up there again.
So
you know,
I think
I'm not a fan of it.
I appreciate the sentiment of this tweet. I'm just not sure it's factually accurate. So I won't be
that's
getting it tattooed across my chest.
Oh, that's awkward because I already have got it tattooed across my chest. It's there with a picture. There's a picture of Jake just down here, just by my
The
by
human
my
equivalent
abdomen.
of indie landfill. He's not here. He can't defend himself.
He can't. But he will next week. And then on the other side, I've got.
It's okay. I
some
won't
nice
be
little-
listening.
Look at him. He comes on. He fucking throws a grenade in, and it just fuckers up.
If a podcaster speaks and no one's around to hear it, does it make a noise?
Does it make a noise? Oh, God. Blaine, Mystery Jets, you are not indie landfill. And in fact, what is indie landfill? It's just pure indie fun. Let's have a listen to the track that was included on the list that went round. This is a hit. This is Mystery Jets, Two Doors Down.
Maybe I should say what's up, invite her around, take her for a spin around the town. 'Cause when I hear those drums late night, I know I'm in love with a girl who lives 2 doors down. I think I'm in love with a girl who lives. I think I'm in love with a girl who lives. I think I'm in love with a girl who lives. I think I'm in love with a girl who lives. I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love.
Does if. Wonderful
It's
song.
not just. It's not
Wonderful
Stars in
song.
Their Eyes, is it? It's no Just Jack. What's Just Jack up to?
What's Just Jack up to? I mean, I don't know. Probably not much, mate.
You know the indies.
You
What's
know
he-
the
what's he doing?
indies?
Yeah, really.
Didn't he become a songwriter for a bit? Like, did he start writing songs for other people? Or maybe I was wrong.
Well, I doubt it because I haven't heard a song as good as Stars in Their Eyes since Stars in Their Eyes.
He released an album in 2017. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Well, that
how the
went
mighty
well.
have fallen. Pour one out for Just Jack.
Oh, God, you're just drowning your floor at this point. You're going to
Yeah,
have to clean that up at some point.
Got really soggy socks.
God. We're careering towards the end of the show here. It's been a wild ride. And obviously, as we were planning basically, obviously because the last few days it was Reading and Leeds, as we talked about earlier with the announcement, and you would have heard.
And I know,
thoughts on
believe
that.
it or not, we do plan this. We don't just.
We do plan it. We do plan this show.
We put a lot of a little bit of thought
Time.
into it.
Yeah, it comes au natural, It's
An
like if you
iota.
squeeze an orange and the juices come out. We're the juices.
But we're
we
not
just
a very
come out.
fresh orange.
No, we're stale.
We're
But-
sad orange.
We're sad oranges. But we were
we've got,
planning basically.
we got a real zest for life.
Hey, there he is! Look at you cracking up as you're about to say it.
I enjoyed it.
We were planning all along, really, because our Hall of Fame is back, and for the first time, we're gonna induct something that isn't a musician or an act or a band. We're gonna induct Reading and Leeds into it.
How's that going to fit in the cupboard?
It's a real push already. I mean, like, we've already got Lord in there. We've already got Foles in there. It's real crammed. But they'll get in there. It'll be fine, isn't it? Just, a bit of Jimmy.
All right,
Jimmy that,
pour it
Jimmy
on.
that. Pour it on. It's Hall of Fame, and this time it's Reading and Leeds to line up with, the past weekend that would have been, and looking ahead to 2021. Now that that's been announced as well. We're looking back over Reading and Leeds, and basically what makes it so... Why is it so important? It's such a part of the summer, and it's history. It's been going for nearly, over 40 years now? Like, it's not messing about. Maybe 50. Is it 50?
It launched the same year as Glastonbury.
Christ.
So it's over
Jesus.
50 years. Because
Over
Glastonbury
50
has
years.
it takes a couple of weekends off, doesn't it, Glasto? It's like, last year was a big one. I better have a rest this one, drink some water, stay hydrated.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas
Doesn't
Reading
it?
just goes, have a cider, mate. That will sort that out.
We ain't fucking about, mate. They go for it.
Go for it. What was your first Reading?
My first Reading was 2011. I think
Oof.
it was 2011. I was going to go in 2010, and then wait for this story. I didn't, so I went in
Nice,
2011.
nice.
Yeah, real That's it.
So
That's what it was.
you missed the rioting era of Reading.
Well, I think I got the tail end of the rioting because 2011 and 2012 I went, and they were both like 2011 was more of a rioting year than 2012 when it would all kick off on the Sunday night, wasn't it? It would all be like a big thing. It's like, what camp are you in? You know,
burn your tents, burn your belongings, burn your fingerprints, so there's no evidence.
Jesus Christ! I was just going to talk about the music, but fucking hell, mate! God, burn the fingerprints. What have you been up to? Fucking hell!
Crime. They can't get me for it because they've got no fingerprints.
This is going to be like, in 5 years' time, it's going to be like a Making a Murderer kind of thing. And it was like, we had no leads until he came on to the Dork podcast and said that he had committed crimes.
So I was thinking about this the other day. You know when people die and then their loved ones like listen to voicemails to hear their voice?
Yeah.
Are you ever worried that if you die young, people are going to listen to this to remember you by?
I think I've come to terms with it. You know, I've come to terms that this is like the recorded legacy of my life, and am I happy about it? I'm content. I'm content with it. You know. Yeah. I think there's worse memories to have. They can just listen to me talk about.
It's not like a cute, little voicemail note going, "Oh hi, I'll always love you."
Right. So what? Should I just do that now? Should I just clear that out? How has it gone to me dying? How has this show veered so drastically off course?
Well, I was just having a little think. I had a ponder in the week, and I was like, I'm going to ask Jamie about this because I was like, if I do die tragically, and then my loved one's like, what can we listen to remember him by? And then they get this.
Yeah,
I don't think they miss me as much as they could do if I just sent just a little voice note going, "I'll always love you."
They're more concerned. They're like, "Oh shit, we should have cleared him off a long time ago."
Yeah, maybe it's for the best.
Maybe it's for the best.
Turn out it's not only the good that die young. Some proper wankers do too.
I don't know. I think I leave behind a legacy with these shows. We've been going for this will be number 16. People can look back and be like, you know what? He lived. How he lived is another thing, but he lived nonetheless. He survived and was here to talk about nonsense. That's how.
Speaking of which, tell me about Reading and Leeds, Jamie.
Yes, let's talk about
share some memories with me.
Well, Reading 2011, as we were talking about, the first Reading I went to, I remember it was a wild one because it was one of the first festivals I ever went to, and I think that's the big thing with Reading and Leeds is it is that first big festival weekend for a lot of people. It's that coming of age moment, and it's kind of maintained that kind of throughout.
I think for a lot of people,
it's always been important.
It's not just the first festival; it's also like the first time you've been away from your parents for a significant amount of time. It's not like it's not a Friday night where you just snuck off to the local park and necked a bottle of vodka. It's fucking 5 days of that.
Exactly. It's huge. And I guess what they're giving as well is you're surrounded by, mostly people that's the same as you in a lot of ways.
Oiks.
They're all kind of people growing up and just this is their moment to get away and to enjoy all these bands and music that they've been listening to, and everyone's kind of feels like it's in it together. You meet people like you just would never have thought in your life there, like people crackers, people sliding through mud, people jumping up and down, people doing all sorts, and
carrying balloons for some reason.
Carrying balloons for some reason, who knows? We'll discuss another time, but. It's all good fun, and I think there's a special bond I think that Reading and Leeds has to people. Reading in 2011, was mad. It was the first time I was at a festival. I remember seeing Madness halfway during the day, and just being like, "What on earth is this?" I ended up in a conga line. Don't know why. Ended up in a conga line around the place. Going to the silent disco. Having a bunch of fun with stuff like that. There, I mean, like there's something really special about the festivals, and like don't get me wrong, it's changed and it's shifted, and it's I think it's a sign that people have strong opinions about this festival and do every time a lineup gets announced, and every time it comes around, people have strong opinions about it no matter how old you are. People
just look at Twitter today.
Just look at Twitter. But I think that's a it's a sign of its importance. If people didn't give a shit about it, or if it wasn't relevant, no one would be talking about it.
It's the indie land full of festivals.
If you will, but it's hugely important to a lot of people, and still holds a place.
It's a real signpost for kind of what music's doing in that particular year.
Yeah.
Like if you look back, like not at the time because you go, why the fuck's Catfish and the Bombing headlining? They're shit and always have been. But like in years to come, you'll look back and be like, holy fuck, Ash Nico and Biba Doobie were playing at the time these really small for them shows.
Yeah, you look through the lineups, don't you? You look down the bottom and you see like these bands that have grown up with the festival and gone on to headline it. Like that's a huge thing, isn't it? People like Biffy Clyro, like prime example, Foo Fighters, obviously. They're still playing now. Actually, if you pick your out the window, they're still playing.
He was not joking when he called it Everlong.
He did. He was not. But that's. I think that's just the magic of the festival. I don't know what it is. It's there's something about it, and I think maybe it's because I don't know. It was like the first festival I kind of big festival I went to. I don't know about you. Was it the first kind of like big? Do you remember your first Reading? What was that like?
First one I went to was 2007. Like
here he is. He's not messing around.
Not messing around. Back then, Zane Lowe would announce the lineup, and you'd have to tickets went on sale straight away, and they sold out straight away.
They're like 5 seconds.
That year was headlined by Razorlight, who opened with a drum solo. Love it. I assume because they didn't have enough songs to fill out the hour and a half. So I watched them on Razorlight, and then even then, as a spry 17-year-old who hadn't been to many gigs, could tell they were shit, so I left early.
This is I've got the image of Ali. You were this pessimistic and like annoyed.
I'm not pessimistic.
When you were like a child, I've got image. You were like 5 years old, and you were just like you were watching a TV show. You're like, this is shit. watching the tunes, be like, this is shit.
So speaking of shit, Red Hot Chili Peppers did the Saturday night. One of the worst bands to this day that I've ever seen. Like, just play Under the Bridge, mate. I don't want to hear you doing loads of jams. Just play Under the Bridge.
Were they jamming? Just like...
just for ages. And then when they played the other year, I was walking past them as they started and just had horrible flashbacks. When it was horrible. And then on the Sunday...
Oh no!
And on the Sunday, it was Smashing Pumpkins and Nine Inch Nails, two bands that I now adore, but at the time didn't see because I was hanging out with Operator Please. Who, if you don't know, are I guess an Australian bubblegum pop band from the same era as Indie Landfill.
I think that's fair.
Their song about ping pong is a classic. We're not going to play it because apparently
we're not. We're not
going to sing that low.
We have rules. We have standards.
Do go and dig it out.
Yeah. But that's it, isn't it? With Reading,
it's never needed. It's such a one, because you do look back and go, oh, why didn't I see that band?
Yeah, this band or that band or whatever. Like, I think there's just something. I don't know. There is something about that festival where it's just like it brings you together. Oh yeah. This is it. And what I also rate about it as well is that it has changed with the times, if you will. I remember them getting a lot of stuff. It's not.
Not fucking download, is it? Oh, is it Metallica and Iron Maiden again? Brilliant.
Reading has moved, hasn't it? Though Reading has moved. Yeah, it's like
Reading has some women
adapted and
to download all blokes.
Reading has moved, and it's obviously that more. They brought in more, if you will, like hip hop and dance. And do you remember like everyone kicking off as well? Like everyone was kicking off about the fact that like even when like Eminem was announced to headline, like even then people were like, "This is ridiculous. This is not Reading. This is not that."
It's that generation that were like,
times.
"Oh, it's a rock festival." It's like Eminem played in like 2001. You dick.
Yeah.
Exactly. What are you talking about?
And also, it's like, rock music and rock music in particular, that was the soundtrack for like that generation at that time. If you look back, even you say the 2000s, and you're looking at like Limp Bizkit and people like that. It's like, well,
New metal was their indie landfill.
Everything was, but that's it. It's moved with the times, and it's brought in these artists. And you look at this year, and you've got Post Malone headlining, and I think that's just like it's a sign, isn't it? It's that festival for young people to head to when they're that GCSE A-level results kind of day. Get set up, and just have a weekend which kind of just changes your life. And I think there's very few festivals that do that.
Some people look at the lineup and go, "Oh, it doesn't know what it wants to be. What music is it?" But like, that's what. No one fucks with genre anymore. Like everyone, I'm not going to go on a huge rant about this, but like the people who listen to Stormzy will listen to Liam Gallagher, will listen to Post Malone. They're also listening to Explosion and Queens of the Stone Age. They probably won't listen to Catfish and Bottleman because I don't know who is, but I'm sure someone is. But like,
but I know what you mean. It's like that is like, this generation is spread, isn't it?
What identity is it? It's like we're the shuffle generation, mate. We fucking listen to whatever.
Yeah.
And we won't do what you tell us.
As a famous band once said, so fuck you.
We will not do what we're told to do.
I'll go back to. We should play some music. I'm going to go back to kind of like, I don't know. There's many sets I've seen at Reading that have been amazing. And one that I can remember vividly was from that 2011. I remember seeing the Strokes for the first time, and I just remember standing there, like I wasn't even that close. I was near the back, just watching, and it was like raining a little bit, and I was surrounded by like, a bunch of mates, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is good." And with that in mind, this is the Strokes, New York City Cops. Have you ever had like wild nights at Reading, or Reading or Leeds? Because I've been to Leeds as well multiple times.
That night was probably one of the most disappointing. So I'm no, and I'll tell you why.
Here's my memory of Reading, and here's my
no. I'm giving people an alternative to your. The Strokes are really good. So I wasn't.
What was your night?
Well, I saw Pulp and like. Loved them.
They were good.
That was me. That was me, kind of done for nostalgia. Wasn't huge on the Strokes, and Jane's Addiction were going to be headlining the Enemy stage.
Oh yeah.
And I like a couple of their songs. I was like, that'd be. I imagine it's going to be quite quiet because it's Jane's Addiction in 2011. Who's going to be?
Yeah, and everyone's at the Strokes. Yeah.
So I walked over there. So always quite quiet. And I waited. Yeah. And I think like 5 minutes after they were meant to come on, it was announced like, they're not playing. They pulled out. It didn't. And it was like, it's something that's like, what am I going to do for the next couple of hours? Because like all my mates are watching Strokes, so I've lost them. I mean, I could have bumped into you, but
could have.
So I think
we wouldn't have known each other.
Just wandering around this really quiet festival site because obviously every fucker's watching the Strokes. Just being a bit like, I think at one point I saw the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Turns out I don't like ska. And it was just one of those.
You found out though. You found out that day.
It was one of those nights. Kind of go, this. It's kind of the downside to the chaos of festivals. Is the fact that sometimes it doesn't line up, and you're like, this is. And on some of those nights, you discover stuff that's your favorite ever thing, and some nights you discover the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. So swings and roundabouts.
Welcome to life, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, I mean, Reading's like the best place. Like I remember when Rage headlined in 2008, and it being like the biggest ever mosh pit. Like the whole, like genuinely, like the whole, that whole like front area. Now they've got like a little they've got like a barrier bit now, but before they didn't have that. So it was just the front to like the sound tower, and that whole bit just jumping for like an hour and a half, and like stuff like that. You're like, oh, I'll always remember that. You know.
Yeah, I think that's it's a powerful. Yeah. It's just a powerful festival. That's like
I know I've come across like I think it's shit, but I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I genuinely think it is probably one of my favourite festivals in the world. And I don't know if that's because I was there, I was like the first ones that I was going to, but there's just something about it that like its importance is massive. It's the big moment for bands when they play. It's that real moment where it's like if you get that big crowd at that festival stage and you really make your mark, that changes your career.
You see a band that like on the Pit who've released like an EP and it's completely packed out, and like for the first time in their career they're playing to like 1,000 of their own fans, and it's like a real celebratory moment. Like
exactly,
obviously the main stage is full of those moments because like to get to the very top you do have to be a sort of band. There has to be you have to have the tunes, you have to have the fans, there has to be like the legacy and the story behind it.
But it builds, and I just think it is. That weekend is such an important one for so many bands, and it's such a shame it isn't happening this year. And obviously, they're showing highlights, but the fact that it wasn't there is a huge blow to a lot of bands. And all you can hope is that next year, more names will join. But
Bloxx were meant to like open the main stage after opening the Radio 1 stage last year. Like that's a huge job for a band.
Moment. It's a huge moment as well, isn't it?
And imagine playing that like the day after your album's meant to come out. That's like a real like triumphant moment. I know like Milk Teeth did it last year. Like little lovely little Milk Teeth, the little scrappy punk band on that fucking main stage, and they brought out like flags and they had like extra members, and it was a real like statement of intent. And I think often with Reading that's what it is. It's the one show a year, or the one festival show where a band sort of turns up and knows that this could make them if they put on a good show. It's legendary.
Yeah. That's it, and the depth as well. There's just a depth in lineup that's always like you're scattered around the festival. You can see all sorts going on, and it's only gotten better with with the fact that there are there are now more genres included in that, and it's not just here's your band and that's it. There's really spread kind of like itself along those lines, and I don't know. It's a landmark event. And
I think the past couple of years they've started bringing in more pop. I think sort of Dua Lipa really kicked open the door for that in 2018. I want to say. And like prove that,
I think it was
rock. Reading can do rock, it can do indie, it can do hip hop, but also pop's more than welcome. And I think that's what one of the most disappointing things about 2021's lineup is there's not like a big pop act like a Billie Eilish or a Lorde at the top of the bill, because just be fun in it.
Yeah. And what it's the sign of Reading is that it does mean something. The lineup. This is it. The lineup means something. That it's like when
it's why
you
people
can
get
be
so
disappointed
angry about it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's because it does mean something. It's not like other festivals that would happen and you just go, oh, that's bad. I'm not going to go to that. But it's like no, because it means so much to so many people, which is a sign of Reading and what it is.
I think it's
and
a
I
real
can only rate it.
It's an inspirational thing as well, because you get a lot of bands going, oh, we used to come here as kids and now we're playing it, and that's fucking mind-blowing.
Yeah. I mean, like it's just incredible, and I think next year, when everyone gathers again, in the field, it's just going to be a real moment. And powerful.
But I do think they need to be better at making a more inclusive lineup.
And I think but that's it. That as well that they are, because they are that figure of the festival season.
I think that's why they get so much stick for it, because they are this sort of the festival everyone kind of looks to be like, oh, what are they doing?
Everyone looks to them. Yeah, 100%. For better, for good and for bad. They look, it looks to it, and that's it. And I think you can only hope that as you look towards next year, as more names be announced, that can balance out. And look further beyond that. But Reading has that place in people's hearts. And what's like for you, Ali? Like a big set that you can remember that, like, I guess, like you're like, yeah, that's the big set. Like what kind of do you have any like big acts that you remember just being like, that's a moment?
There's been a couple. Obviously, last year, 21 Pilots and 1975 were both like real emotional, heartfelt victories for both bands for different reasons. Paramore set
100%.
in, I want to say 2014, where the power went out mid-set. And they did,
I remember that. Yeah.
That's like that's a real like do or die moment for a band. Like your first ever co-headline slot at Reading and Leeds, and all the power just goes out, and they just sat at the front of the stage and did a little sing song, and it was one of those really magical, beautiful moments that could only really happen at a festival like that.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think like the biggest set for me was probably when My Chemical Romance headlined in 2011. Like they'd as a massive emo, obviously, but also because like so they played like 5 years before, and they were bottled off stage, rocked up in 2006, and like they were hated so much that they were bottled to such a degree that they had to leave the stage. And then so for them to come back, because they said at the time like, well, the only way we're going to come back is if we fucking headline it, and then they did. And on their best album, Fuck You, Danger Days is the best My Chemical Romance album.
Let's get to that another time, please. Let's get into that another time. Heavens above.
But yeah, the whole set, like, it felt like a victory in the most truest of senses. Brian May popped out.
Oh, cool! I remember that. Yeah, out of nowhere, he emerged.
I assume he lived next door or nearby because he popped out a couple. I think I saw him like the week before with Foo Fighters. And he was just kicking around.
Was doing the rounds. Yeah, he needs to get out of the house.
He just wandered around with a guitar.
Does anyone get out of the house?
Does anyone need a solo?
Do you want a little solo? It's like, all right, Brian, come on, just get on the stage. I can just do it and get off. Will you leave us alone after that? For the love of God. I remember that set. It was an amazing set. And it was like a crowning moment where they were like, we will only return if we headline. And they came back and did.
I think it's one of those sets as well where a lot of people went going, My Chemical Romance, headline in Reading, that'll be shit. Let's go laugh at them. Let's go.
Yeah,
because,
see what's
every year you get that band, people going, they're not a headliner. What are you chatting about?
Yeah.
And for some bands you go, I was right, wasn't I? They were shit. Catfish in the Bottom, not headline a festival.
But, if you end up going next year and you come out being like, you know what, Catfish in the Bottle, man, decent. I swear I'm going to play this back, and I'll be like, for fuck's sake.
Well, I imagine what will happen is they'll be so good that I die, and then my loved ones will listen back to this.
Listen back to this.
Be like, oh no, he died wrong. He died of shame.
Are they playing? Oh God!
No, I think they're still trying to get a second album from somewhere, aren't they?
We've discussed this on the show already. Shame, obviously, if you're listening again. Please. Should we play a track from My Chemical Romance to celebrate?
Shall we? Should we play everyone's favourite My Chemical Romance song?
Yeah, what's that?
It's Welcome to the Black Parade.
I think that's fair enough. Yeah, we'll give that a whirl, shall we?
Here's the ultimate emo anthem. Welcome to the Black Parade. Piano's at the ready.
Unbelievers, the plans that they have made. Because one day I'll leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade.
You said pianos at the ready just unfortunately too late for me, so I just kind of tapped my fingers onto that, if that's all right. Is that good with you as the resident emo?
I mean, you might have to play it again then.
We cannot let people do that again. If you want to listen, go listen in your own time, for the love of God. My allotment, the mud is all over my table now. It's been that long since I picked these from the field.
Yeah, it's a good job glad you didn't get mud on your piano. Be awful.
Yeah, I hate that. My grand piano. My grand piano that I have in my front room, just like that's how you play a piano, right? Isn't
keys. It? Yeah, like a synth, but shit.
Oh God. Reading and Leeds. We salute you. You're in the Hall of Fame, and there is none quite like it.
But if you don't sort your shit out, we can take you back out. We can revoke it.
I mean, there are rules. We can actually do that.
Well, So be better.
Be better. I think that wraps it up for this week. Unfortunately, Ali,
no,
thank you.
not unfortunately, Jamie. It's my pleasure that this is finished. I'm glad.
Sorry, you.
I welcome
I'm
it.
so glad this is over. But you have nothing else to say. It's been one of.
I mean, I do have more to say, but I don't want to.
It's for another time.
I feel like I got rid of some of your audience, the bailiffs, the Christians, the cops. they've all gone off.
The real world, the ones that we were clinging on to clearly for hope. They were listening. What I want to ask you to do is, obviously Jake, hopefully the vols would have risen and been okay for next week, so he should be back.
Hope so.
Is there a message that you would like to send to Jake?
A message to send. I'll tell you what. I'll write him a little note and I'll leave it on top of the mailbag, and
we'll read it next week.
Yeah, because I'd like some time to reflect. Think about what Jake truly means to me as a podcaster and someone that I follow on Twitter.
Nice.
Because that's a big deal. And I've got a lot of not respect for him, but I know he exists, and I'd like to treat that with the gravity that deserves.
I know he exists. A real warm sentiment to round out this week's show. Cheers for having a listen. We'll be back next week with more. And what I will say, Jake usually ends on like some sort of hopeful note. But what I will say is, check on the. You got one.
I can probably muster up some hope.
Yeah, go on, drop some hope on us.
You think about it, probably can't get any worse.